And if we learn how to make this work, in other words, this is not going away. We're going to have some agents that really weren't thinking about being essentially digitally placed in the marketplace, about being more online than offline, and they're gonna leave this when the virus is over. They're gonna leave this more committed to the digital platform, and
Yeah.
that's gonna actually make them able to serve more people in less time and make more money. It's interesting.
It is interesting.
It is. It's good.
All right, so let's rock. It's 11 o'clock, so thank you all for being here. Welcome to the GLG 11 a.m. This is kind of like a team meeting, right? It's just daily team meeting. And this is actually the first one that I have hosted. All the team leaders have been taking days, bringing on guests. We have just some tremendous guests lined up. I'll get some communication out to you guys over the weekend with who's coming next week. You will be very pleased, trust me. But this call is really about generally successes. It's about struggles and solutions. This is more of your tactical call. So I think, I think of this call almost being like the Shift book, right? What are we doing right now? How do we get into action? So, there is certainly space for everybody to be involved here, ask questions. I'm super excited to have one of my mentors and dear friends. Gene and I have been, and Leslie have been working together for 5 years. I can't believe he's been with us for 5 years. You'd think he would have fired us by now.
He ought to be dead by now. Good Lord.
Yeah. So, but Gene really has helped us tremendously, and you guys all know him. We have him every chance we can within the group, and I just wanted him to come on and chat about, what his experiences have been in the past in terms of Shift. He's overcome some tremendous adversity in his own life, and I think he'll be a inspiration for all of us. So, Gene, thanks for being here, man.
My pleasure.
So we're in a shift.
Yeah, we're in a shift. So the Shift book, I'm assuming everybody on this has probably been watching the Shift in the morning, or you've been reading the book again. The book is your Bible right now. And I mean that very seriously. But the first issue in the book is the first issue in my mind too, which is mindset. And it doesn't have to be something as big and horrific as this. It could be an agent who has their business in a slump. It's all about mindset. I remember going through the worst real estate collapse since the Great Depression in 06, 07, 08, and into 9 and 10. And I remember being a little worried about that, but I was comforted by the simple fact of what we do, our product. Everybody I know uses our product. Everybody, and they own it or they rent it, but everybody uses our product. Everybody. And when everybody uses a product, there's money to be made there. And sure enough, we learned that in the worst of times, people bought and sold real estate. And we have a dire situation right now with the virus. Everybody knows that people are getting more infected and more people are dying, and we're not past that wave. And when I think about a shift, Andy, I always think about how long does a shift last? And that's a big part of what Rebecca and I have done in looking forward and dealing with a shift is how long is this going to last? And we're dealing with two waves. The real estate recession potential is there, but it's the first wave that we've got to deal with, and that is the virus. And you all know the virus was identified in either late November and December in China, and now the same province in China has had 0 new cases and 0 deaths for 3 weeks. And the Apple stores are all closed in North America, and they are now opening back up again in that very same district in China. And work is about normal, with the exception of people are still wearing a lot of masks over there, but they're kind of getting back to normal. Well, that was 5 or 6 months ago. And if you just simply put that on us, it starts showing up here in January. A lot of you, though, on this call, maybe you haven't had it since January. Maybe it's been February where you had your first identified case. I don't know particularly about Atlanta or Georgia, but it seems to be a shelf life of 4 or 5 months for you to see the increase become a decrease. And once it becomes a decrease, once the virus starts to be behind us, then we're going to deal with the second wave that's been created, which is the economic hit. We have a negative economic wave going over the entire country, over the entire economy. You've seen extreme volatility in Wall Street. The huge downturn, biggest downturn since the Great Depression in Wall Street, was strictly due to the economic wave that hit this country. And there's so many people out of work right now. You saw the notices just 2 days ago, the unemployment filings. That economic wave is estimated to be 2 to 4 times the virus wave. So if a virus is going to take 4 or 5 months to work its way through our country, then it's going to take at least 1 to 2 years to work past the economic damage that wave creates. In terms of a shift, Andy, a little old 2-year shift is not a big deal. It's a problem, but it's not a 10-year calamity. And most true economic downturns are a decade plus or minus. So if we can get in and out of this thing in 2 years or less, I'm not too worried about it. And I think people are going to keep buying and selling houses all the way through that 2-year deal. I think we're going to get hit in the second quarter, which we're stepping our foot into right now. I think the second quarter is going to be problematic. But I think the 6 months ending the year, the second half of the year, whether it starts in July or August or September, I think there's going to be a strong activity pop in the second half of the year. Now, that's assuming we're past the wave of the virus. If coronavirus is still active in our country, it doesn't have to be everywhere, but if it's still increasing anywhere and deaths are increasing anywhere, that will continue to destabilize our economy until that's gone. So I don't know. I think people are going to keep buying or selling real estate. And in our local areas across North Florida, I've been on the phone with my entire organization, with everybody, all the agents and all the team, every single day for 2 weeks straight. And everywhere, all of our markets are busy. All of them are all busy. And they're busy in every category: listings, contracts, closings, in every category, they're busy. So I think the number one mindset, Andy, right now is all of the agents need to look at their pipelines, and you're gonna really find out, do you have a valid pipeline or not? And your pipeline should be what you work every morning at 8 a.m. That pipeline, you get on the phone with your A's, and an A is a buyer or seller who wants to do the deal in 30 days or less. Now, those people are either going to do it or they're going to decide not to do it. And that's your job. That literally is your most important job, is to find the people who want to do a deal and get the deal done. On a call I was on this morning with our team, one of our agents put a listing up on YouTube and Instagram videos, and in 5 days, they've had 7,000 views of the video, and the home has 5 offers and is basically sold. And all the offers were without a showing. And that points to, on the buy side and the list side, there's some really motivated people who want to do a deal right now. For whatever reason, the evidence is there's high focused and high activity by a segment of the population to buy or sell. And agents, the mindset should be, I want to find those people. And you start with your pipeline. And you should be talking to all of your A's constantly all week long. I would say, depends on the size of your pipeline, but 30 minutes to an hour every morning, you're talking to your A's, and you've probably got 8 or 10 or 12 A's individually if you're an individual agent, or if you're a buyer agent, you've got 8 or 10 or 12 A's right now. You need to be on the phone constantly to those people to find out, are they going to do it or not do it? And then you need to move to your B's. Your April people are moving into your radar right now. Are my B's lined up? Are my B's worried? And you need to talk to them about the reality of the marketplace. The COVID-19 reality from the CDC is we must respect that this is deadly, and we must protect the safety of buyers and sellers and agents on both sides and our vendors. We have to have that focus first. But there are prudent steps you can take to mitigate or minimize the risk of dealing with this virus and trying to do business. And in most communities, and I don't know about yours, Andy, but I'm guessing it's true, can you still go to the grocery store?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you still go to the drugstores?
Yep.
The gas stations?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Are your restaurants open or are they closed?
They're closed. They're offering takeout.
Yeah.
They can't have more than 10 people.
Yeah, that's exactly the way it is here. And are you guys forbidden from doing open houses now?
No.
No?
You got to abide by the 10 plus rule.
Yeah, 10 plus rule. Well, there's many parts of the country now where you can't do them, period. Can't do them, period. There's no right or wrong. I'm not talking about right or wrong about this. I'm talking about dealing with what you've got to deal with.
Right.
But the fact is, in terms of showing a home to a buyer or a couple, there's more risk statistically in you going to the grocery store where there's 40 or 50 people there than there is you showing one house to a couple. Y'all follow that? So if you simply wash your hands going in and you wear gloves while you're in there, and when you leave, you wash your hands again, you've mitigated the risk that you took. And there's a high probability there's never going to be any negative consequence from that. There's still a chance, but there's more chance if you go to the store, you go to Walgreens. So I think we need to be educated about risk. And I think we need to understand you're going to have agents who are very afraid of the virus and don't actually want to leave their home. And then you're going to have agents who don't care at all, don't worry about it. We just had spring break in Florida. I don't know if you saw the videos. We had thousands of college students packed like sardines all over the beaches. It was horrendous. I mean, it was like Mardi Gras. And now New Orleans is spiking seriously. And we're going to have the same thing in Florida starting this week and next week, just from the spring breakers. And we know it. So there are people who don't care and people that are scared to death. And then the rest of us are kind of in the middle. And the rest of us in the middle need to keep doing business and do the steps that make the most sense to keep doing business with safety in mind. And I think a big solution to that is moving to a digital platform. And I applaud y'all. I know a lot of y'all are already doing this, but it's going to boil down to getting your tools organized and really intentional about your tools. Like, can you use Google Hangouts or a Zoom call and do a proper presentation to a buyer and a seller, showing charts and graphs and demonstrating your value proposition smoothly and powerfully and efficiently? And if you can't do that, then you're not going to be as effective as somebody who has mastered those tools online.
That's a good action item. That's a really good action item for people right now, is to, if you don't have a good virtual presentation, we had the curtains on earlier in the week showing us, kind of what they're doing. But that's a to-do item for everybody right now. Master it.
Actually, and it's more than that. In the Shift book on page 38, it says the 6 core competencies of a business. And you literally need to walk through each one of those and build the digital tools necessary for each one of those. So number 1 is lead generate, capture, and convert to appointments. Are you literally doing that every day? Every day you need to be lead generating, capturing, and converting to appointments. And the capture part is going to be online, and it's going to be, in my mind, it's going to be through command and using campaigns on social media, almost certainly. but it can be organic. I know y'all had a lot of success, Andy, with your virtual open houses and no ad placement at all. It was just organic, your success, right?
Yep.
So you don't have to spend money on this, but you certainly could. Number two is presenting to buyers and sellers and getting agreements. And that's literally show me your Zoom presentation to a seller. And it better have charts, and it better have graphs, and it better have pictures of competing properties. The same thing you would do at the table with them. I need to see it. And you need to be smooth, and you need to know when to close, and you need to know how to get the paperwork in front of them and get it signed. And until the agents understand how to do that whole thing, you're not going to try to do it because you don't know how to do it. And now this becomes a vicious circle where you don't know how to do it, and you're not doing it, your business is going down, and it's not going to be good for you at all. So you've got to master that. Number three is show buyers and market sellers. So what's the ongoing strategy to market your listings? And I'll say one word for that: video. Matterport's kind of Cadillac, but video is what's necessary. You still need 30 to 40 pictures, but you better be doing video, and you better be doing good video. Video that's compelling, video that tells a story, video that demonstrates, video that shows brand names and higher end properties, video that stimulates curiosity, video that can close people. And the video that you do needs to be on Instagram and YouTube. And you need to either work it organically or literally spend a little money on ad dollars on Google and or social media, meaning on Instagram or YouTube itself or on Facebook, and drive traffic to your videos. And then that would be also the stream to the buyers. If we're lucky, a lot of agents are going to get videos online for all their listings. But if you have a listing that's on your short list for a buyer and there is no video, you need to go point blank to that agent and say, I need a video. I need a video. I want to protect your seller and not show a home unnecessarily. If you'll get a video for me, I'll show it to my buyer prospect this afternoon, and then they'll decide if they want to see it or not in real time. And I don't think this is a small thing. I think we need to be aware as a professional. I got a seller, and every time I take somebody into their house, their risk just went up. We're going to do steps to mitigate it, but their risk went up. And if I can make sure people aren't coming into their house who walk out going, no, absolutely not, that won't work at all. I never should have shown that house to somebody that walks out saying, why did I even see that? That's a waste of time. They should have seen the video. And then that would have protected the seller and protected the agents and protected the buyer. Does that make sense?
Yeah, this is like finding the motivated amongst the pool of buyers.
That's right. That's right. Everybody knows typically you get a buyer, you're going to do a wants and needs analysis in your consultation. You're going to take that data, you're going to take the money data, how much money they want to spend and how much money they can spend, and they're going to match that to the market and spit up a list of candidates, properties. And if you do it right, there'll never be more than 8 or 10 properties, and they're going to narrow it to 2, and then they'll see and buy one of those 2. And that should be our mindset. It's 1 or 2 properties, and you're going to buy one and eliminate the rest, and maybe eliminate all the showings on all of them and get the property under contract. And then they do a final showing, which cements the deal. In other words, an offer subject to a showing instead of a showing and then creating the offer, maybe an offer subject to a showing. We're having good success with this right now. We're showing 1 house, 2 houses, our agents, and getting a deal done. It's not difficult to do.
Love that.
Yep. And then number 4, write and negotiate contracts. A lot of you are already doing that. It's paperless. You need to go there. And then number 5, coordinate the sale to closing. In all of our offices, our title companies are all capable of doing that with only 1 or 2 lender exceptions where the lenders want a hot signature and they want a real signature, but we're making them get off that or they're going to get off our list. And you can do it all absolutely with Keller Mortgage. There's no problem there at all. And then the last one is manage the money. And that one's not applicable to this conversation, but all 5 of those, Andy, need to have a digital component. And in terms of your training calendars and your market centers, I know I've got team leaders and PC coaches probably on this. You need to stare at that right now. Right now, you need to have a training on the digital buyer and seller consultation. And I would split them. I'd do them separately because they are different. and then how you work them digitally through that. So this change, we were talking about this before we launched into this, Andy, this change is going to be permanent. In other words, we're never going back to the way things were. We're going to come out of this, and we could literally be out of this in 3, 4, 5 months, meaning the epidemic. We could be out of that, and we're still, a lot of us are going to slide only so far back, and we're going to stay more in the digital experience of real estate. And that will be a huge change for the industry.
Absolutely. Well, you've given us a lot of tactical stuff. I love that page 38 and shift. And Aubrey, thanks for bird dog and all that back at your house. And then if you look at the chat right now on this video, you'll get a lot more content. And again, thanks to Aubrey for that. So let's shift gears just a second. Let's talk about overcoming adversity. You know, there are shifts in the market, and then there are situations. And, you know, I still think your story about Hurricane Andrew is so powerful, especially people think they've got it bad right now. You know, this is nothing, right? So if you will, share with us about that experience. I know that was a painful time in your life, and yet it created something pretty awesome for you eventually, right?
Yeah. So just go out today and blow up every one of your listings, and blow up every one of your pendings, and blow up your own house, and blow up one of your cars, and blow up all your possessions. And then you'll know what a real problem is. So that's what happened to us in 36 hours. Everything was gone, including the office that we worked out of. Everything was gone in Hurricane Andrew. And we had to relocate up to Tallahassee, and we ended up living in a garage, and we had 2 kids. And our mindset, Rebecca and I have talked about this often, and there's a lot of discussion in the leverage, the part of our company, about this is, are people's behaviors fixed, or are they somewhat moldable? Can you change your personality? And if anything was going to do it to Rebecca and I, it would have been that experience. And what Rebecca and I believe is there were certain elements of our personalities that got much more intense, but they didn't change, but they were much more intense. And for both of us, our level of focus on our business changed. It got much more intense. And I think it's the same issue right now for the agents in the industry who are serious about their business. You're going to need to make up your mind, because when a shift hits, a negative shift hits, it simply means this: you're going to have to work harder just to stay even. And if your goals were to do more business than you did last year, then you got to add more work on top of that, because you got to work more just to stay even. And the ultimate challenge here is understanding what leverage means. So my wife and I, Andy, really, without knowing it, we weren't in KW at the time. This was way back, you know, pre-KW for us, but we were in the business 4 years in the early 90s, and we understood the business. We understood the basics really well after starting our 4th year in the business. So when we relocated, we focused on what we knew to be a truth, and it's a truth today, and it'll always be a truth. If you want to sell more houses, you need to talk to more people. And we knew that at a high level, but we also knew we had limited time. So we realized we needed to leverage our time to talk to as many people as possible. So our mindset about lead gen was not, I'm going to get on the phone and talk to one person. I'm going to get on the phone and talk to one person. I'm going to go door knock and talk to one person. I'm going to go to the grocery store and walk slow and wear my name badge and talk to one person. That went away. What happened was we wanted to do group speed dating for lead gen. So we went to the busiest gym in the morning in the part of town we wanted to become dominant in, and it opened at 5 a.m. So we were there at 5 a.m. and we surmised this before we did it. We figured the people that are at the gym at 5 a.m. every morning are probably a lot of really solid citizens, meaning these are people with jobs, with kids. And sure enough, Every morning we had school teachers and we had lawyers and we had policemen and we had people who all were working people that came to the gym for approximately an hour, and then they would shower and dress, and then they'd be off to work for their 7 a.m. shift or whatever they did. And there were about 70 people there every day. And in 3 months, you get to know every one of those 70 people. I'd go around, I'd see somebody I hadn't really spoken to, and I'd wait until there was a machine open available to them. So then I just get on that machine and go, hey, how you doing? We haven't met before. My name's Gene Rivers. By the way, I ain't mashing you. My wife's right over there on that machine.
Love that.
Yeah, and it didn't take but 90 days, and we had an ongoing relationship with everybody in there. And I was very upfront with people. I said, I'm in real estate. What do you do? Right? And then they tell me what they did. Tell me more about that. And then I get back to, so as I said, I'm in real estate. So can I ask you a question? Yes. Do you own or rent? And it was just a series of simple questions that in 90 days led to appointments and led to business. And we went from there to the busiest breakfast place in the same part of town. Well, guess what? At 7 a.m. every day, there's a bunch of regulars lined up in that line. So it's the same thing. We would do that all day long. We would go to groups that had meetings that were posted in the newspaper. I'd go to Sierra Club and learn about saving ducks, and I'd go to Ducks Unlimited and learn about killing ducks. And I'd go to the Republican Party and I'd go to the Democratic Party. And my aha was there's some really great people and some idiots in both groups of people. And, but I would just network. We ended up selling a house to the head of the Democratic Party in the state of Florida. And the same year we sold a house, we built a home for the lieutenant governor who's a Republican. And both of them think we're in their party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because I don't discuss politics and business together. I don't.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that.
Sure. I don't discuss it. I think if you want a heart surgeon, get the best heart surgeon you can get. And if you ask, wait a minute, are you Republican or a Democrat? There's something wrong with your thinking, right? You want the best one you can get. Anyway, so my mindset about this, Andy, is that there's only one thing stopping you from being more successful. There's only one thing that keeps you when a market is going down. There's only one thing that keeps you from going up, even though the market is going down, and it's the way you think. It's the way you think. And right now, and I probably shouldn't say this, but right now, I think you've heard a lot of people say that top agents love a downturn market because that's when they can take market share. And that's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And that's true not just for us, it's for all businesses. Look at what's happening right now with Amazon. Amazon is trying to hire 100,000 people. Because guess what they're going to do right now? They're going to really ream all sticks and brick stores. They're going to ream them. They're going to get more people using Amazon than has ever used Amazon, and they will be taking substantial market share from retailers. Is that true?
Yep.
So my point is, some of the agents on this call, I appreciate 100% what the Shift Book says and the training and the focus right now on lower cost. Some of you need to hire somebody and step up your game substantially and go take market share. Some of you, it's an entrepreneurial move, but 30-60-90 says that in 3 months, I need to get productivity increases out of anybody I hire. And if I don't, fire them.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yep.
So if you do get productivity increases out of that person, then it's well worth doing it. And you need to ride that and ride that hard. You need to pull an Amazon. You need to go for it. And that's literally what we're doing. I'm getting ready to hire 2 more people on the Rivers team, and we're going for it. I know what local agents are doing. I know what they're doing. I know what my own people in my own company are doing. Some of them are sitting back going, I don't know, this virus thing is really scary. I was like, you poor little thing, bless your little hearts.
Yeah. Yeah. Blood in the streets, right? Go for it.
Yeah.
So how do you think KW plays a role in the agent's recovery from this?
Well, there's no question about it. I mean, it is I would like to say it's just providential, but because of the reality of the marketplace right now due to the virus, agents have more time on their hands than they've ever had, particularly busy agents. All of a sudden, you got more time on your hands, and you need to be spending an hour to 2 hours a day if you're a single agent on command. You need to be all in on command right now. The smartest thing you could do is to get that tool clearly in your vision about what this tool means to my business and how successful I can be utilizing the options in those tools and that suite of tools. You need to be using that app. One of the things you call and talk to all your Mets about every day now is getting the app loaded, getting the app loaded, getting the app loaded. It's not an option for you. Get the app loaded. Do you want to know when any one of your Mets is looking at a house from their car on the phone? Do you want to know that? And if you say, oh my God, I'd love to know that, get the app loaded. There's no other thing to do. So I think KW was bringing these suite of tools, Andy, to us all along. You know that this is 5 years in the making to have these tools. But the fact that we've got them right now where you can use these and do these small placement, low ad dollar ads on social media and generate thousands of leads a month, it's perfect timing. It's perfect timing where you can take some stuff I send you and throw it into command and automatically put in your own logo and your own stuff, and boom, you got my brochure with your face on it. Boom, just like that. I mean, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah.
If you don't adopt these tools, what are you here for? And I'm really serious. This is the right company with the right tools at the right time. And if you're not going to adopt the tools, you're probably not clear about value in this kind of world.
Yeah. In other words, don't be here if you just like the color red and black.
Yeah. 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 This is a company built for people who want high success. Remember, think big, aim high, act bold. That's who it's built for. That's who I want.
Yeah.
I'm not against having part-time agents. Our model is built on 1/3 to 1/2 are not cappers, right? I mean, that's our model. So I'm not against that, but I am not okay with someone who only does 4 or 5 deals a year not being professional and not being competent with today's technology. I'm not okay with that. It's okay to sell a few houses a year. It's not okay to not give the consumer the kind of experience they deserve because they have the KW name on their card. There should be an expectation of performance. It's got nothing to do with units, but it has to do with professionalism and today's technology and skills, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, we know that during the shift, it's a skills-based market, right? Those who have developed something unique and can really deliver it in a meaningful way they're gonna kill it. They're absolutely kill it right now. And what I hear you saying on this call is we've got to get this digital presentation mastered.
Yep.
And then we've got to figure out using technology, we've got to figure out a way to communicate with our people and our have not mets. We've got to communicate our value proposition, which is a very progressive value proposition now going virtual.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. And in our market centers in today's world, the technology director or whatever you want to call them, and you have one, the technology person and the productivity person and the person in charge of the training calendar all need to be on the same page about these issues. Just like I said, the tech person is going to drive how to deliver the technology information, but the productivity person's got to get it inside people's heads and make sure they're doing it on a constant basis. And then the educational person's got to make sure what's on the calendar is exactly what's needed right now for all of our agents to get up to speed on. And how you're going to deliver it is this way. So it's literally kind of now or never. You know, we have got to do this. Our job to adopt this technology, but got much more serious with this virus. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally in parts of the country now, the only way you can sell a house is online. There is no other way in some parts of our country right now. Can't do open houses, can't door knock, can't meet people in groups, can't, can't. So it's on the phone and it's online. But again,
Yeah.
I think going forward, consumers are actually going to like this. They're still going to like the face-to-face, but they're going to like this. They're going to like convenience. They're going to like the power that digital communication can do. And they're going to not go back. Just like people are still going to want to go to Bloomingdale's or to Macy's. They're still going to like to go there, but by gosh, they're going to do a lot of shopping on Amazon and online retailers, right? It's not either or, it's both.
Yep.
Yep.
So where is, in your opinion, where are people, agents, where are they going to go wrong in this shift that we're embarking?
Well, it's the inverse of what we've been talking about, isn't it? I mean, if you're not talking to more people every day than you've ever spoken to, you're going to go wrong, because I'm going to take your business. I'm going to find people that you're not trying to find them, and I'm going to convert them. And now you're not going to get that market share, particularly if I can get them to load the app and start using the tools that we've got. Keller Mortgage, insurance. I mean, my God, some people are saving 30% on their insurance. So you've got to take action, and it starts with, are you talking to people, more people than you've ever talked to? And it's like that, or it's like that, or it's like this, because we can't do a lot of that now. So it's about on the phone, on email, or on texting. And I think people will go seriously wrong if they don't do that. So it's 1, 2, 3 hour chunks a day on the phone or online, texting, communicating. 1 hour with your A's and B's, people that are going to buy this month or next month. 1 hour with your people that are in the pipeline, but farther out, and an hour talking to your general Mets. And if your business isn't big enough, then you add in non-Mets. But until you've exhausted all of your Met categories, why are you going anyplace else? Why are you going anyplace else? The conversion rate in MREA 1 was 1 deal for every 6. MREA 2, it's 1 for every 10. So if you got 500 past clients in Sphere, you got 50 deals a year, and most agents aren't getting it because they don't talk to them enough. Yeah.
Stab you in the front right there.
Yep. I'll just tell you what we're doing. We're hiring telemarketers, and we have 5,006 right now. We just passed over into 5,700 past clients.
Wow.
5,700 past clients. You know what that means? That means we have 120 people a week that are having a deed anniversary date. Wow. 120 people a week have crossed another year milestone in their home. We need to be talking to those people. We need to be talking to those people all the time. And it's a simple phone call. Congratulations, this week is your 7th year anniversary at 1515 Smith Street. And we're going to start milking that like crazy. I have 60,000 people that have been on a Boomtown drip and won't respond to an email, won't respond to a phone call if we had their phone number, but they're still getting the drip and they don't exit the drip. So what's up with that? We have people that have been getting a drip for 8 years.
Yeah. And it's about time. It's about time for them to turn it around.
Yep. And we're going to be pounding those 60,000 people. So it's the people that are in my world. If you're in my database, and right now we have another 4,000 general Mets besides the past clients. So we have over 100,000 people that we're going after right now.
You know, you could, this is all about creating new processes and systems, using Kelly Snaps, or a market snapshot tool to be able to automatically send out updates to those 120 people a week. And then with some sort of a follow-up asking them what was their aha on it, you should be able to convert like crazy on appointments.
Yep. And I think whatever your business plan was last year, it got torn up about a month ago. No, it did. And right now, And I've been having conversations with people around the country right now, and I've been asked about this myself. We don't have a business plan bigger than 1 week. It's just 1 week, because this thing has been changing. If you look back for the last 4 weeks, it's changed every week for 4 weeks. Is that true?
Oh my gosh, yes. I remember less than 3 weeks ago on a call you and I had with Leslie,
Yeah.
you asked us what our plan was for coronavirus. And
Yeah.
I remember Leslie and I looking at each other like, is he serious? Like, should we be worried about this? And from that call,
Yeah.
we actually started down, a spiral of figuring things out.
Yeah.
Think about how things have changed in less than 3 weeks from that phone call. Amazing.
Yep. And, I hate saying it, but it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. I mean, bodies are piling up in New York City right now. They don't have enough morgue space. And that is going to happen to other cities. New Orleans looks highly likely. I wouldn't be shocked if Miami doesn't have the same thing. So it's going to happen. And I'm not happy to say that, but I'm also not blind. And I believe in the truth. And the truth is this thing is going to continue to grow. So my vision is we're going to keep pushing on the A's and the B's every single week to find out who wants to do a deal or not, who wants to get it for sale, who wants to get it for sale. I put a sign up in the yard in my neighborhood because the neighbor had talked to Rebecca and I thinking about selling. And then I had a conversation with him 2 weeks ago, and the virus was happening. And I said, you need to sell now. And he and his wife talked about it. And I won't give you the details that I discussed with him, but I said, look, selling, it's a great time to sell. And this virus could make it maybe not a great time to sell a month or two from now. I don't know, but that could happen. It could be a worse time to sell. And I think the odds are it won't be a radically better time to sell. So you need to sell now. I put the sign up yesterday. Nice. So I think you need to
baby.
All your A's and B's every week to do a deal. Who wants to do a deal? Who wants to buy or sell real estate right now? And you need to push hard. And then you need to be looking also every week. Now, who's next? Who's next month? Who's next month? Who's worried and is thinking about pulling back? But with some straight talk and some good advice, they will continue to go forward. And this can all be colored by whatever government says I can or can't do, right? But our game plan is just weekly right now. And I know it's going to get worse. And then it's going to start to fall off and then it'll change. So literally all I see for the next 2 to 3 months is constant change every week. Constant change. And I think real estate is going to slow down in that period at some point when the body count is too big and there's too many people that are getting sicker and sicker and sicker and sicker. Consumer confidence is going to start to really feel like this is a really bad problem. And they're going to pull back. There's still going to be people who buy or sell though, Andy, but I think it's going to cool off and then we get past that hill and then it's going to start to move back up again. I don't think it'll be some huge wave, but it'll start to move back up again as the new cases start to fall. Consumer confidence will start to move back up again, if that makes sense.
Yeah, fascinating. It's really interesting to get your perspective on it. Aubrey, and we want to be respectful of your time too. We're not going to go much longer, but I know there's some questions. Aubrey, if we got.
I see there's 34 there, but I'm going to count on Aubrey or somebody to just read it.
Aubrey, so you screen it.
Yeah, Gene, one of the questions was, what's the benefit of being on a team right now?
Well, the benefit of being on a team has nothing to do with the current climate. The issue about whether you're an individual or on a team is how entrepreneurial are you and the power of leverage. Everybody pays for their success and they pay for it with time and money. Everybody pays for it. So a single agent has to pay for everything financially and they have to pay for everything with time. So when you're spending all your time and all your money in your business, it's the hardest way to be successful, but you can definitely be successful. But the minute you hire somebody, you literally will generally save time and save money. Now, I look at being on a team as hiring somebody. If I joined your team, Andy, I'm hiring you to take care of 125 tasks And all I want to do is be your listing agent. And that's 5 jobs. And I'm going to pay you good money, Andy, for you to take 125 jobs off my plate. And I only have to do 5 things. And you better put me in front of big opportunities. And if you do that, I'm going to work really hard and I'm going to make a lot of money. And if you won't do that, I'm going to fire your butt. Y'all get that? I mean, everybody's hiring people to save money and save time and be more successful. You get that? Now, I've never not been on a team because my perspective is a single agent who's doing 30 to 40 deals a year has the hardest job in real estate. It is the hardest job. It's 125 tasks, maybe 130, depending on the state you're in. And all the risk is 100% on you. And if you get sick for 2 or 3 weeks, your business collapses right in front of your face. That's the riskiest, hardest job there is. Does that make sense? Now, if you're entrepreneurial, you look at that and go, yeah, baby, let me at it. I'm going to do it all myself.
Gene, we had a question from Luke Weathers. He asked, at what production level should you be hiring an ISA? What would your answer be to that?
Well, it's not my answer. MREA 1, the red book, it shows you, look at the org charts at level 5, one of those bubbles says telemarketer, which is the old word for ISA, OSA. And I like that word better, actually, because it describes both. MREA 2 research has the telemarketer show up at level 4. Level 4 is 2 admin, the rainmaker who's building the business, and a buyer agent, and it shows up at level 4. Along with level 4, the telemarketer also shows a showing assistant instead of the buyer agent. And I've taught that level 4 team at Reunion every year for, I don't know, a decade or more. And I have issues with that. And I like that. It's pros and cons, but the capacity of a telemarketer should be to produce 1 appointment a day, 1 to 2 a day on average with 7 a week. That's 350 appointments for a year. That's 175 closings. And that would be about right for a team of 5 or 6 people. So a level 4 team, you throw in that telemarketer, you got 5 people, you throw in maybe 1 more buyer agent, you got 6 people. That's the number of people you need to pop 160, 175.
Perfect. Guys, if you want to ask Gene a question, we've got a row of people. You're on mute. You came in mute automatically. So if you have a question for Gene, now will be the time to ask it. Take yourself off mute.
Yeah, I think lead generation would be the last thing you leverage, right? So you'd leverage admin, then you'd leverage buyers, you'd leverage listings, and then you'd leverage lead generation. That's the way I've seen it explained many times.
Well, I mean, depends on how you look at it, Andy. Right now, I would, if I was hiring my first admin, the number 1 thing I want them to do is to get my systems built in and through and around command. And I want them to utilize that lead gen function of command at a high level. Top agents today, you really need to understand, for most of them, technology is not their wheelhouse, but it dang well better be your admin's wheelhouse. Right? I mean, if you look at what top teams have done historically, they didn't learn how to do SEO and pay-per-click and build websites and write code. They just went to Boomtown or Tiger Leads or Sync and wrote a check.
Yeah.
Listen to that. Yeah, that's what they did. And that was smart for them to do because they never were going to be good in technology, no matter how hard they try, because it's not their wheelhouse. They make their most money standing in front of somebody who wants to buy or sell real estate, right? Or they make their money at a higher level. They make their money standing in front of a team of 3 leaders who run a large organization that sells hundreds of houses a year. That's their wheelhouse. Their wheelhouse normally is not tech. So I get what you're saying, but at a certain level, if you have a team at a certain level, the business is doing more lead gen than you're doing. You should be doing your core advocates and your advocates, but your main business as you grow your business is your people, not lead gen. Does that make sense? You'll need far more leads than you're going to generate on your own if you're trying to sell 400, 500 houses a year. You're never going to generate those on your own, and you shouldn't even try. You need to get the people who'll do it or get the tools who'll do it, and that's command.
Yep.
What else? Y'all are quiet.
Aubrey, what else we got?
I have a question.
Sure.
Hey, Kimberly.
Well, hello, Gene. Long time no see. Hope you and my dad hooked up. No,
Excuse me?
I said I hope you and not like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, my question is, a friend of mine's got Vulcan 7 and let me get on it, and I'm seeing a ton of withdrawals in just the last couple of weeks. You know, only been on the market for a week, 6 days, 2 weeks, and I know, my best theory is everybody's just afraid because of COVID-19. So I called on a few of them, and I'm just curious. How would you approach tech, script, or what have you, to educate them that there's still a ton of buyers out there that need homes, and it's, you're on.
We have a simple handout, and I'll be glad to send it in, but we have a simple handout, and we're not unique. This is all over Facebook groups in KW, etc. And it just describes selling your home in a digital world facing the reality of COVID-19. And the reality is we show them how we can sell your entire home without any human interaction. And that's being done right now. That is being done.
And
People are
where
selling
can I
houses without
find
any-
that?
Huh?
Where can I find that?
I'll send it in.
I think we ripped
And then he can distribute it.
off and duplicated that Peter's company, because I saw something floating around yesterday about it.
Yeah. Yep. In other words, I would tell them, Mr. Expired, I don't know if you pulled your home off so fast because of the virus or not. I'm guessing it is. Is that accurate? Because you're looking for those people, right? So if they say, well, absolutely, I'm scared to death of the virus. Could I share some information with you how we can sell your home without any human interaction? Let me send it to you, and then I'm going to follow up with a phone call to see if you have any questions. And your mindset, the mindset about Powerful Lead Gen is always about mail, call, see. You want to talk to people, you want to offer them something, and then you send it to them, and then you follow up with them with a phone call or an email to say, did you get it? Do you have questions? And then if they don't respond and give you the appointment, then you want to send them something else and then say, I'll follow up with that. You follow me? That's just what you want to do. That would be an 8x8 in today's world for an expired. I think an 8x8 should be a touch a day, focusing on how I can sell your home. If their fear is the virus, right? How I can sell your home with no or minimal human interaction. My goal would be to sell your home with one showing, and it would be the person that writes a fully executed contract subject to a final seeing the property.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Aubrey, what else we got?
I'm asking people right now to take themselves off mute and ask Gene a question. This is a huge opportunity with somebody that's been around and seen this before. I know he has been your coach for a while, so please take yourself off mute. Ask Gene some questions.
So,
Hey, Gene,
this
this
is
is Mike Price. How you doing?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, so I love what you said about calling. I'm looking at my spreadsheet, calling the A's, all the people coming soon, finding out if they're going to do it or not going to do it.
Yep.
I love what you said about, and it makes sense. Now's the time. It could be terrible in 2 months and catch this wave. I'm spending a lot of time calling my database and just checking on them and saying hello and just seeing how they're doing. Is now the time to ask them for business? You know, it's because I'm like, hey, Gene, this is Mike. Hey, how's your family doing? You guys, how you coping? And then they say, I'm great, whatever. And then I kind of go to the next one. If they don't bring up real estate, I don't bring it up. Is it too soon, in your opinion, to bring that up with your database?
Absolutely not. But I love what you said. You always start, remember, calling your A's and B's. These are people that are in the pipeline to do a deal this month. I'm going to get right to the business, right? So, what are you all thinking now? You still want to close by the end of the next month? Are you ready? Because we can go get something right now. There's lots of good opportunity, yada, yada, yada. But when you call your sphere, it starts with, how are y'all doing, right? Is everybody healthy? Everybody okay? You know, blah, blah, blah. But then you need to get to the real estate question. In today's world, I think the script is not, who do you know that wants to buy or sell real estate? The script is, we're finding there are a lot of people who are unclear about how to sell houses in this market and be safe. So if you know anyone who was thinking about buying or selling, but they're scared because of the virus, I have a simple one-page fact sheet on how we can actually eliminate almost all human interaction and still get their home sold. Who do you know that might benefit from reading this one-page fact sheet on selling with no human interaction?
I love it. Yeah.
right?
Okay. Absolutely.
Because, by the way, Mike, that's real. There are people that are afraid and they're just pulling back. And the fact is, they don't even think about doing it digitally,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It's been an eye-opening thing. Everybody that I've been talking to, friends and people in my database, they've all gone completely virtual. And they have asked me, some have asked me, how's the market? I'm like, hey, everything's still humming right along. We're just doing it all virtual now.
Yep.
And they're really shocked to hear that.
And let's not forget, we're the only one left standing with an iBuyer program too. And ours is still running.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hesitated to bring that up. I actually had typed out a post to put that on Facebook, and I thought, that's going to send a message that people are pulling out of deals, and I got to be really, really careful. So I got to find a creative way to get that message out. Because Zillow is pulling out of deals.
I know. Well, I know they're done.
Yeah.
They're toasty.
Yeah.
They're
But I
toasty.
mean, they're not closing on stuff. They're under contract on stuff and pulling out of them.
Well, that's pretty. That's a nice commercial.
Yeah.
This is Michael Hernandez. Hi, everyone.
Hey,
To piggyback of what Gene said in regards to Mike's question, when you do get him on the phone and you're just trying to find that soft way of letting them know, do you have any real estate needs? You could go into, hey, while you're at home and you have some downtime, download my app. And on my app, you will see my guides. And one of the items on the guides can be how to handle the coronavirus.
absolutely.
And that way you get them to download your app and you can understand what they're, if they're on there, and that's just getting more people into your ecosystem.
Great idea. Love that.
Yep.
Well, guys, we got about 3 more minutes. We got time for maybe one more question.
How are we handling being the economist of choice when we're trying to predict for some people the economy, which we can't do, especially for buyers? What if, Miss Real Estate Agent, I buy this now and its value drops in half in the next 3 months? How are we handling that advisor role?
Well, I think it's
He's a
really,
listing agent, I think, than a buyer's agent right now.
yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward. The first question I'd ask anybody is, how long have you lived in the current home you're in? And if they say, well, 6 years, and it doesn't matter if they're renting or owning, just 6 years. So if you buy this home, do you believe you'll live in this one 6 years plus or minus? And they're almost all going to say, yeah, maybe longer. Well, there is no statistical evidence that says you won't have a property worth more than when you're ready to sell it in 7 years. The evidence says it'll be worth the same or more than what you paid for it.
Perfect.
Because if this is a down cycle, it'll run for 3-4 years maybe, and then we'll be out of it.
Perfect. Thank
And
you.
that is the truth of it. If you're talking to somebody who acts like a flip person, they're going to buy and sell, that's the wrong mindset, right? These people should be buying and holding for years. The average lifespan in a home right now nationally is over 10 years. But more than 45% of the people who move in 7 years or less. So there's a big chunk that move a lot, but there's a bigger chunk now that are staying longer, and we're tap dancing between those two groups.
Thank you.
Gene, thanks so much. I'm going to enjoy watching that quarantine beard grow too. Looking forward to seeing more of that. I'm doing one too.
This was supposed to be a ski beard, and unfortunately, Rebecca and I are not getting our dang spring skiing at all. That was X'd off our calendar. I'm not happy about it.
I understand. None of us are happy about it, and we got to accept it and move on, right?
Yep.
Thanks, man. We love you. We appreciate you.
Absolutely.
And stay safe. Be well.
Y'all do too. Just always protect your buyers, your sellers, and yourselves and your fellow agents and affiliates. Nobody needs to get sick trying to make a buck. Be prudent.
There you go.
Be prudent.
Thanks, Gene.
All right.
Love that.
See
See you, gang.
Thanks, Andy.
You guys
Appreciate
be
it.
good.
Thank you, Gene.
Appreciate you, Andy, getting us set up.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Gene. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you, Jean.
Thank you.
Oh, that's
Be
nice.
good.
Thank
Y'all.
you. Bye.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.